Hey there friends, welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive
by his house and look for food on the other side.
We're going to do blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Good afternoon from wherever you're joining us within the Kenyan borders, Uganda, Tanzania, and even beyond. Welcome to TV47 Afternoon's broadcast. We have a lot lined up for you. A lot has been taking shape within the country and even within the region and across the African border. Here is a snippet of what is coming up. Kalonzo comes under fire from ODM leaders after recent remarks about Raila Odinga were perceived as inflammatory.
Kina Kalonzo wafanye mambo yao. Mambo ya kuvurutana sijui wao ndio Azimio sijui nini. Azimio, mkubwa wa Azimio ni baba na ndiye party leader wa Azimio Coalition Party.
The sentencing of former Samburu governor is underway after the former leader was found guilty in a corruption case. A section of teachers push for the ouster of Teacher Service Commission Chief Executive Officer Nancy Macharia over the handling of the strike. Once again, good afternoon. Welcome on board. My name is Moige William. This is TV47 News Now. You can always interact with us through our social platforms at the bottom of your screen. Now, let us start off the bulletin. We start in Naro County, where ODM leaders from Naro County have come out to condemn the Azimio faction led by Kalonzo Musyoka. That is regarding their recent remarks against ODM leader Raila Odinga, accusing him of betraying them by allowing some of his members to join the Kenya Kwanza government, led by Nyandarua ODM branch chair Dickson Mwangi Manyara. The leaders say that Kalonzo should focus on strengthening the opposition rather than blaming Raila for political betrayal. At the same time, the leaders affirmed their full support for their party leader in his bid to securing the African Union Commission's top position.
Tunawaheshimu sana, lakini tunaona kidogo wameteresa. Mambo ile wanatakiwa kufanya ya kujiandaa mambo vile wanataka kisiasa, bado wamekwamilia kwa baba, sijui aliwaacha, sijui nini. Mimi na waomba waachane na hiyo mambo ya baba. Baba ameomba Wakenya ruhusa ndio afanye siasa yake ya kiti ya EU, baadaye atarudi kama atarudi ama atatubariki na vile anataka ipangwe. Jambo ni hao akina Kalonzo wafanye mambo yao. Mambo ya kuvurutana sijui wao ndio Azimio sijui nini. Azimio, mkubwa wa Azimio ni baba na ndiye party leader wa Azimio Coalition Party. Kalonzo bado hajabarikiwa na hiyo kiti, atulie. Baba akimalizana na hiyo atakuja mwachie kiti.
Kuna watu wa ODM walienda kufanya kazi kwa UDA. Ilikuwa ni jinsi tu ya kuwasaidia at least ile wizi ambayo ilikuwa inaendelea katika chama cha UDA ipungue kidogo. Hata kama vile uliona jana watu walikuwa huko Nyanza wanasherekea, wanafanya nini? Sio kupenda kwao, ni ile tu kumwonyesha kwamba afanye kazi ya bidii.
Still in the political arena, days after Kalonzo Musyoka declared himself as the official opposition leader, Wiper members of parliament have welcomed this move to take over the official opposition leader in the country. Speaking during a funeral in Kilungu, Nakuru County, the legislators led by Kaiti Member of Parliament Joshua Kimilu said the decision by the Wiper leader to take over the opposition leader mantle was timely and best suited after Raila Odinga's betrayal to Azimio. Local activists said it is time for Kalonzo to push for development projects for the lower eastern region through the opposition seat.
Thank you so much.
Raila Amolo Odinga through opposition has championed great policies for this republic. Similarly, I would like to state that Kalonzo Musyoka has learned a lot from His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga. He has learned new techniques about demonstrations, about picketing, about sit-ins. Previously, we did not have our Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka participating in demonstrations, but we saw during the Gen Zs and many other occurrences that were happening in the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka participated actively in demonstrations. We saw demonstrations at Wote, that is in Makueni, Sultan, Mali, all the way to Mombasa. Machakos was actually a hotbed for demonstrations, and that is the headquarter for the Kamba Nation. And we accept that His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka is the kingpin for the Kamba Nation. I say now this is the moment for the Kamba Nation to shine through Kalonzo Musyoka being the right opposition leader for the Republic of Kenya. Now he is not playing his role for the Kamba Nation only. He is actually doing it for the entire Republic of Kenya. I ask all Kenyans of goodwill and Kenyans who do not entertain bad governance, Kenyans who do not entertain corruption, all to back His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka to ensure that he plays his opposition role accordingly.
All right, and now away from the political arena. As the teacher strike continues for the fourth day, a section of teachers in Kericho County under the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Teachers, that is KUPPET, have called for the resignation of Teacher Service Commission boss Nancy Macharia. Speaking in Kericho County, the KUPPET teachers who protested said that the labor issues are supposed to be negotiated and not taken to court. Nonetheless, the KUPPET teachers vowed not to bow down to what they term as TSC intimidations.
TSC thinks that it can intimidate teachers. You cannot intimidate us. To use the head of institutions to intimidate teachers. We know what you did to the JSS teachers. We are warning you, don't do that to us. Labor disputes are supposed to be negotiated. You don't throw us court orders. We are saying Nancy Macharia should go. Who writes the transfer letter? And why is he still in office? That is the big question. A PW teacher who has been amputated, transferring to interior place, and then removing teachers who are paid money to places they want to go. We are saying corruption must stop.
Still on teacher strike, but let us take a look on what is happening in Naro County, whereby KUPPET teachers led by the Executive Secretary Charles Ngeno took to the streets of Kilgoris town, demonstrating, or rather to defy a court order that instructed them to call off their strike as they await the ruling of the case filed by TSC. They say the government of the day has failed to appreciate the efforts of teachers who work hard to make sure students get good education. The teachers at the same time complained of being paid peanuts, delay in promotions, and called upon TSC to confirm JSS teachers. They vowed not to go back to class until TSC implements their demands.
Na tumesema aturudi darasani. Tunamwambia rais wa Kenya William Samoei Ruto kwamba Nancy Macharia ameshindwa na kazi. Walimu wako na ujumbe mingi hapa kutoka bank, wameambiwa wameshindwa kulipa loan na hiyo pesa imekata kwa payslip. Tunasema hapa rais lazima abadilishe TSC. There must be an overhaul of the Teacher Service Commission so that the teachers of this country can get their right. We are also saying this. The career progression guidelines. Ile imekandamiza mwalimu kwa miaka mingi. Itolewe. Kurudi scheme of service. Ambayo ilikuwa inaona mwalimu akiprogress.
Shifting gears to matters health, former Health Cabinet Secretary Susan Nakhumicha has officially handed over the position of the Cabinet Secretary to Dr. Deborah Barasa in an event held at the Ministry of Health offices in Nairobi today. In her handover speech, Former Cabinet Secretary Nakumicha said that she prides herself in having laid a good foundation for the implementation of the universal health coverage, as well as ensuring the training and distribution of 107,000 community health promoters who are still providing services to Kenyans. Nakumicha reveals that one of her lowest moments as the Cabinet Secretary for Health was during a 3-month-long doctor strike that paralyzed the health sector. Further revealing that among the challenges they incurred as a ministry was lack of resources. The incoming Cabinet Secretary, Dr. Barasa, on her part, stated that her aim is to continue from where her predecessor has left, particularly ensuring that the SHIF is being implemented in addition to overall provision of quality and affordable health care.
So I'm happy to welcome you to the Ministry of Health and to tell you that this is a good place to be, and to also assure you that we laid a very good foundation for the universal health coverage. As I was telling you earlier, we did all the groundwork. So now it's up to you to fly the plane and ensure that Kenyans get universal health coverage. I live with my head held very high because of whatever we were able to achieve. So as I walk out of this place today, I'm very happy with the 107,000 community health promoters who are trained, who are kitted, who are providing services to Kenyans. I'm also very happy that we were able to roll out the electronic community health management information system, that as you sit in the office, I'm sure by now you must have tried the dashboard and you are able to see reports coming in of what the community health promoters are doing. For me, that is good achievement.
I have had the opportunity to meet the CHPs, and I am encouraged by the energy in most of them. I am keen to strengthen this program as well, and the establishment of primary healthcare networks and other initiatives to anchor UHC.
All right, and away from that, in a bid to shape the future of the healthcare in Africa, the second annual Transforming Africa MedTech Conference, led by Vilgro Africa, has successfully launched. The event brought together 120 MedTech delegates from 14 countries. The inaugural event underscored a significant demand for collaboration and networking among African professionals in the medical technology sector.
To maternal, and we are starting off with point of healthcare providers facilities.
Because the Africa CDC actually endorses the idea of innovation and transformation, looking at issues of digitalization, looking at issues of, innovative medical technologies to support routine clinical care or management, but also most importantly to safeguard public health on the continent.
We believe that Africa needs to start owning our own healthcare. We need to stop sending patients to India and other places, and that's only possible if we start innovating solutions locally.
By designing specifically with and for low resource settings, affordability and accessibility are key constraints that we have addressed. We work directly with our hospitals, both public and private sector. We engage governments, we engage NGO and multilateral agencies, and we engage the private sector. Anybody who is addressing the critical need of improving newborn mortality is who we are working with.
It is an economic driver because the people, young or otherwise, who are innovating and manufacturing are going to be developing jobs. So it is going to be a big job booster. Very, very excited to see what happens in the next 2, 5, and even 10 years to make this vision come true.
Now, elsewhere, residents of Uaso Narok scheme in Nyahururu sub-county are protesting against the government's intention to evict them due to the construction of a perimeter wall around the Marmanet forest. As per the residents, the eviction is planned to make room for installing an electric fence to protect against marauding elephants from the South Marmanet forest. Despite this, they claim to have lawfully obtained the lands and received title deeds from the government after being evicted from the government-owned South Marmanet forest over 2 decades ago.
Tumesema hivi kwa lugha moja na kwa nia moja ya kwamba tutaki fence ndani ya mashamba yetu. Tumekataa na tumekataa na tumekataa.
Pengine wetu ni wajane. Tunafukuzwa tuende wapi? Mashamba yetu isiwekwe fence ya dofu na tumekataa na tumekataa.
Tuko na shida na sauti ya president. Tumekutwa na janga ya fence ambayo ulilaunch ya permanent forest. Tunataka kuambia mheshimiwa leo, hakuna kitu inaitwa msitu ya permanent. Tunasema hii fence ambayo imewekwa hapa bila public participation ifanyiwe rejection.
Nakuru County has continued to take proactive measures in revival of pyrethrum farming by empowering farmers in the 7 pyrethrum-rich zones of the county. This boost has been termed necessary for sustainable growth and prosperity in pyrethrum production. Chichi Josephine tells us more.
Nakuru County has continued to take proactive measures in the revival of pyrethrum farming by empowering farmers in different parts of the county by providing solar-powered dryers that will assist farmers in drying the flowers conveniently. Speaking in Kiptiroro, Kuresoi North, as she presented pyrethrum dryers to farmers, Nakuru Governor Susan Kihika said drying is one of the major challenges faced by pyrethrum farmers.
Niko very passionate maneno ya pyrethrum cause pia najua wazazi wengi walikuwa zamani wanaweza kulea watoto wao through pyrethrum. Halafu tukafika mahali hapo ikawa shida, wakulima wetu wakaacha kugrow pyrethrum. Lakini sasa tumerudi kwa hiyo laini. In addition to PPCK, pia sasa Kentegra wako na factory nyingine kubwa, kwa hivyo nyinyi muongeze pyreto. Yani hamutalima mkose kwa kuipeleka. The market is there and the money is there and it is paid on time.
Pyrethrum farmers said the introduction of these solar-powered dryers will help them a great deal, especially with the area receiving rainfall almost daily.
Kwa hakika pareto inalipa vizuri sana. Bei ya pareto nadhani mnajua iko juu kabisa. Na iwapo wakulima wote tutashikana,
itasema mimi huwa napea PPCK pareto yangu, na wakati napatiana huwa tunapewa na advance ya 300 shillings na tunapewa on the spot, sio kugoja.
Asa ile kitu tunaomba siku ya leo tuna request ni kwamba hapa tuko na vikundi mingi ambayo tumeweza kujisajili, vikundi ya vijana, ya wamama. Tuna request Madam Governor, kama itawezekana tutumie hizo vikundi waanze kufanya propagation ya seedlings.
Chichi Josephine, TV47.
Right, our very own Chichi. Thank you for that. Time and labor-saving infrastructure companies are now being called on to come up with equipment that will reduce the burden of care work done by women in the country. This comes at a time when women spend most of their time performing unpaid care duties, a complexity that has contributed to workforce segregation as it limits women's economic potential and productive livelihood. Speaking in Mombasa during actioning of the Brokering Linkage Initiative, Youth Alive Kenya Programs Officer Rahma Isa has tasked the government to come up with policies that will see reduction, redistribution, recognition, rewarding and representation of the care workers in the country.
Environment.
Naangalia ni jinsi vipi masuala za unpaid care na masuala za paid care zinaweza kutekelezwa pale nyumbani kwa kuzitambua, na pia kwa serikali kuweka mikakati kadhaa kuweza kureduce changamoto ambazo wafanyikazi wa hizi kazi wanaweza kupitia.
Sasa hivi kuna mtindo ambao kuna wale mama wa kufua wanakuja pengine wa wiki mara 2 ama kitu kama hivyo, so wanakuwa sengine wanakandamizwa kwa zile kazi wanazofanya, wanadhulumiwa kwa njia tofauti. So jukumu langu mimi kama chifu pale chini ni kuhamasisha, maana tumekuja kutambua kuwa wananchi wengi hawajui haki zao.
Serikali yatakana ijue kuwa hapa nchini kwetu Kenya tuko na wale wafanyakazi ambao hawalipwi na wako supposed kufuata constitution huwa inasema vipi?
Naonelea itakuwa mradi mzuri, juu tumeanza saa hii, itakuwa mradi mzuri, tuweze kupunguza hiyo burden kwa wanawake. Ultimately tunataka kupunguza hii mzigo kwa wanawake.
Moving on, in an effort to modernize agricultural practices, a company in Naivasha has introduced a new drone to help farmers maximize on their profits. The DJI Agras is designed to address common farming challenges by offering more precise and efficient field management. Farmers have traditionally struggled with issues like assessing field conditions, managing labor-intensive tasks, and minimizing environmental impact from chemical use. The technology aims to streamline these processes, potentially making farming both easier and more productive.
Application, reduction in CO2, carbon emissions, and just general pace of work. So, for instance, it would take us 5 days to spray 150 hectares. Now it takes us a day, and we're able to get in and get the job done as quick as possible. Certainly, I think with the payload of the Agras T50, we're closer or there in terms of volume, in terms of application. So the payload and the battery life basically are all the factors that have come into play now for farmers to actually be here and be interested, as well as the cost per hectare.
Looking at situations whereby we have drone sprayers that the farmers can utilize in doing spraying for various crops. We are looking at orchards, we are looking at broad acre farmers.
One of the major challenges that we face when we're managing such big hectareage is labor. There's not enough labor utilization. So you find situations where an activity that's supposed to take a few days will take much longer, mainly because of labor availability and things like that.
All right, dear viewers, some update here. President William Ruto has appointed selection panels for 4 constitutional commissions whose membership has fallen vacant after serving a single non-renewable term of 6 years. Now, in his appointment, President Ruto has appointed a 6-member panel to recruit commissioners for the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, that is IPOA. Also appointed was an 8-member panel to the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, where the commissioner's term has come to an end. Also falling vacant was the Commission on Administrative Justice, where the President has appointed a 6-member selection panel to pick commissioners. Another 8-member selection panel was appointed to pick commissioners for the National Gender and Equality Commission.